All right, Herc, Atlanta had a bad weekend. Seattle had a bad weekend. Who do you think had a worse weekend?
Oh, it's Atlanta by far. Listen, Seattle, I'm sure, will console themselves with that little patch right there and that championship
Sounders
banner.
TV over there.
Well, no, let me get on Atlanta for a second. But the people in Atlanta want blood, and Josef Martinez is one of them. This is the face of your franchise. This is the highest profile player of your team, the star, the player that means everything to your team and to that fan base, calling out everybody, calling out the players, these $1 million signings, these players that make millions, that come to Atlanta, have come to Atlanta and not produced, who are coasting by, not even trying. He's calling them out. He's also calling out the strategy of the front office. He's calling out everybody and anybody in that organization of how it's been a circus and not been good enough since, I don't even know how long. What are we going on? The Tata years? Tata Martino?
Yep. 2019, basically.
2019. Yep. We're in 2022, going to 2023 soon. That's how long it's been. And while he's doing this, okay, he also said he doesn't know if he will be back. He's also leaving himself, the star of the team, he's leaving that up in the air, whether he will come back to Atlanta United or not. I don't know how it gets much worse for Atlanta United fans.
I'm with you, but just so we don't breeze past Seattle, right?
Oh.
It is a bad weekend for Seattle. You lose to Portland 3-0. You do it on a very special day for the Sounders. They're celebrating the CONCACAF Champions League title. And we find out, really not after the game, before the game, because he said it on Wednesday before the game. Gio Savarese said they were happy, Portland was happy that the Sounders were doing it. So that big celebration turned into bulletin board material for your rival. They come into your house, they beat you 3-0 in front of 47,000 fans. It's a bad weekend, but it's a Herc, I would compare it to like a superficial wound, because the problems in Atlanta seem much, much deeper, and they seem to run all the way up to Carlos Bocanegra, who has been given a lot of money
and
to
Darren
play
Eels.
with.
You can go higher.
But the team is not quite coming together. If we were to do a blame game, where do you see the fault lying?
Definitely front office. I mean, you could blame the players as much as you want, but there's a bad accumulation of said players. What are you going to blame? Ownership here? I mean, good old Uncle Arthur's given this team more money than probably they could have ever imagined, or any Major League Soccer club could have imagined. It's the roster construction here, and you can go back to the coaches and who you've hired. I mean, you could talk about the De Boer, you could talk about Heinze, you could talk about now Gonzalo Pineda, and if that was a right choice. It just one after the other. And you could say, as Josef Martinez very well said there, you could mention injuries, but it's not really been a case of injury. It's been a case of, we bought these players for a lot of money. We're putting an accumulation of players onto the field, and it's not working. And it's one after the other. If players that you buy for an enormous amount of money aren't producing, and not only are they not producing, but they're not even trying, well, what do you expect is going to happen?
Yeah. We criticize ownership a lot on this show. Atlanta, probably the one place where you can't really do that.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.